I want to rise in support of my colleague, our vice chair of the California Legislative Black Caucus, and in support of SR 70. I ask that we come together to recognize the rich and storied history of black people in this country that we don't always have the chance to learn about. Case in point, the story of the successful entrepreneur and philanthropist, Madam C.J. Walker, who invented the straightening comb and was the first African-American female millionaire. Not Oprah, Madam C.J. Walker. The story of the brilliant author and anthropologist Zora Neale Hurston, whose eyes were watching God. The story of Frederick Douglass, his intellect and his mission to abolish slavery. My favorite, one of my favorites, the story of Biddy Mason, who went from being enslaved to being a major land baroness in Los Angeles. She owned most of Spring Street, which is now downtown Los Angeles, and again became a millionaire. The story of Langston Hughes, whose words flowed like the rivers that nourished our people. Sojourner Truth, who spoke speeches that could shatter chains while giving truth to our collective power. And more recently, the story of a movement that exploded to make this country realize that black lives do indeed matter. The story of Michelle Alexander, of plantations, pipelines, prisons, and the new Jim Crow. At the onset of this country, the scales of equity were tilted against people who look like me. Colleagues, we must be affirmative in the steps we take to right that historic wrong. We can and should do this by acknowledging the history of black people in this country and learning the stories and sharing the stories of individuals similar to the ones I just mentioned. I'm riding high today, colleagues, having spent the weekend sharing with my son and members of my extended family and friends in watching history being made at the movie theater by seeing Black Panther. And recognizing today that I think as an African-American woman, we haven't had a similar life experience than the day after Roots first aired on TV, where young people, young men and women, particularly young women, see images of themselves on the big screen in a positive light, images of young black women who were leaders, who were technological giants, who were indeed warriors. And so it's very powerful, I think, that we pause every February, spend some time digging into our collective American history, and recognize the role African Americans, black people have played in designing and constructing the core fabric of our American culture. And that's why I'll be supporting SR 70 today and hope that you'll do the same.